Hello everyone, Janet Smith here of Affirmation Threads. We are diving back into charity knitting this month in support of the American Cancer Society. We've accepted the challenge. The challenge is to knit every day or crochet, whatever crafty item we choose. We will likely be knitting most of the time, doing it pretty efficiently with our circular knitting machine. I hope you journey along with us every day. So every day, I'm going to create a brand new project. You'll be able to see us go through that project. The projects are sponsored by you and me. And if you'd like to donate to the American Cancer Society for my specific fundraiser, that is amazing because with your donation, I'm going to take that and I'm going to turn it into a project for a cancer patient going through chemo. So we're knitting cozy beanies, cozy neck warmers, and cozy headbands. So cool. So this is Sponsor a Stitch 2025, Crafting for a Cause. Hopefully you will join along and enjoy the videos while doing something that really means a lot and it touches my heart because I have had family members and have family members affected by cancer. And you likely have as well, or you know someone that has been affected by cancer. It is something that is passionate for many of us, and we want to do what we can to support, right? Right. Every stitch begins with love and ends in purpose. So, our affirmation for today is stitching with intention and love. Let me show you a closer view of the project. Here we are in the project. Today we're going to knit a soft pink and cream beanie. We're going to use these two colors here, as you can see. And I'm also using my Sentro. Last year we started out and we were using my Addi Circular Knitting. Now we're using the Sentro. We'll probably go between the two. But today we're using the Sentro. It's a 48 pin circular knitting machine, and it's going to allow us to have a bit of a larger beanie and more comfort. So on my Sentro, I have marked the first peg here with a black marker so that I can see it as it's coming around in a circle. But the first pin here is a different color, so it helps you to see where to start. And we're going to start with pink or blush. And I'm going to give myself a little bit of a tail, not too long, but long enough to pull the drawstring. And let's just make sure we're pulling from the right side. I think we are twisted. Let's see. Yeah, I'll start with this side here. As we're casting on, first we're just going to weave in and out of each pin. This is our cast on when we're doing circular knitting. So I'm cranking the machine and weaving my yarn in and out of the pegs, or in front and behind every other one. This row you take a bit slow just to make sure that the cast on is sufficient because that's the foundation of our beanie. And you know you've gone the right direction when you in behind the last pin. So I'm behind the last pin right here, and I'm just going to nestle the yarn into the groove, which is this yarn holder. And I have a tension holder in the front here, and I'm going to add the yarn into the tension holder just to give it a bit of tension. And so now that we've started, I have my counter here. I'm going to put to 0 so that I can count my rows and I know exactly how many rows I've gone to ensure that I have the size beanie that I want. The row counter on this machine is right here, but it didn't work from day one, so I had to add a row counter. But that's okay because this digital counter works amazing. So with this pattern I'm doing, I think I'm going to do 10 rows of each color. We're on row 2. I like to use this big twist yarn on both machines, actually. Both machines feed this yarn very, very good. But we're going to be doing a color change in between each color after 10 rows. We're on row 6. This pink is almost finished. We're going to go as far as we can with the pink. This is row 9, so I'm coming up on the 10th row and I'll be able to cut my yarn. We're on row 10, so now we're going to cut. And when I change colors, I add my yarn to the left of the last pin that I knitted. And then when I'm adding in the new color, I nestle it into the yarn holder. And I also wrap it around that same pin. And this is called a jogless join, so that you won't have that stair step look when the color changes. And now we're going to do 10 rows of this color. Pulling out a little bit of excess. So excited to be doing the next charity knitting. All of these items will be donated to my local hospital in the month of December. There's still time to donate. As a matter of fact, I need to let you know who our sponsor is for today. So for this beanie right here, this chemo beanie that we're working on now was sponsored by Pamela Walker. Thank you, Pamela, for sponsoring today's beanie. We're on row 19. Now we're going to 20. Ready for another color change. We're doing that jogless join again, so it doesn't have the stair step look of the color change. So today's live stream is a little bit later in the day, but the rest of the live streams will likely be earlier in the day, like 9 o'clock. You can look forward to 9 o'clock or watching the replay. Catching this little knot before it gets up into the machine. I think on this beanie, we're going to have the pink on the outside, and we're going to have the cream on the inside. We're at 30. Now it's time to change colors because we're doing stripes. Give myself a little bit more slack. Tuning in for this charity knitting sponsor stitch. I would be doing this by myself, but now you're joining me, which is so cool. We're at row 39. Now we're at row 40. Time for a color change. The beanie that we're making is 140 rows. Between 130 and 140. I like to do 40 for sure when I'm adding a satin lining. We're not adding a lining to this one. So we'll do either 130 or 140. May have enough to do one more. As far as the pink color. Almost missed the color change. So I missed the stitch right here. Going to have to pull out my tool to pick up this one stitch that I missed here. I'm going to add my darning needle there so that I'll remember to get it when it comes back around. And here it comes. So what I need to do is find out where the stitch stopped and grab that loop. You probably can't see this, but I'm inserting the hook underneath all the stitches that didn't loop or connect and into the last stitch that did connect, and I'm going to re-thread them. Because we dropped a stitch. And now this stitch here, I can add it back onto the loop. Make sure it's on the outside. And we're back on track. We're on row 53. Our stripes are coming out really pretty. You can kind of see the pattern now. We're going every 10 rows before we change the color. Right now we're on 59, coming on 60, and it's time for color change. But the color that we're using for this pink, this is going to be the last row of it because this is all I have left. So I'm just going to use this until we finish it. So the pink stripes that we have will go on the outside of this beanie. Last part of the yarn is getting jumbled, tangled. So we're able to go 68 rows before changing for the very last time. Now the cream color is going to go the duration of the beanie. And if you'd like to sponsor a beanie, you can definitely do that. The link is in the post where you can sponsor a beanie. Or even if you want to purchase a beanie, the link is in the post where you can purchase as well. And we're at row 70. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get a bit more efficient. And I'm going to go ahead and pull out my pink drill. And it's going to allow me to go a little bit faster. But I'm going to give you some music while we do that. Let's see what we like. Row it up a little bit more. About 10 more rows. So we're now down to row 140. That is the end of our rows. I'm going to give myself a little bit of slack on the yarn at the end before I cast off. I'm going to use a curved darning needle. This is going to allow me to cast off the beanie from the machine. So I'm threading it. And I'm going to make sure that I knit the last hook. And then after that, the yarn is out of the feeder, so we're not growing it anymore. We're just casting off. So as it's on the last hook, I'm going to pick up the stitch and pull it through for each individual stitch. It was so cool to share the donation last year to the hospital. There were beanies and scarves, infinity scarves that I donated last year, and the majority of them were sets. Um, It was so cool because the volunteer was so excited to receive the donated items, so much so that they invited me to their Christmas market, which was just this past weekend. So I participated in the Christmas market with the same type of items. I expanded my inventory just a bit. So there were more than just beanies there, but I was able to showcase affirmation threads, beanies, scarves, pouches, totes, all types of handcrafted items. Knitted with purpose and love, of course. So I'm looking forward to sharing that again and doing another donation of all the finished items during this month. I'll be delivering them next month. So there's definitely still time to donate as you sponsor items and donate. Your donations go directly to the American Cancer Society. But as you are sponsoring and donating, I'm going to match that donation with an item that I craft, and I'll be donating it to the hospital, and they give them to cancer patients that are going through chemotherapy. That is something near and dear to my heart because I've had many family members that have gone through chemo. If you know someone going through chemo, let me know. Shout them out. Give them a word of encouragement, or just give a word of encouragement in general to someone going through chemo or someone supporting a loved one that is going through chemo. Don't want to drop any of the stitches. That would not be good. Able to pick up more than just one. And the last one. Awesome. So now I can move the machine so we can put the beanie together. We can get rid of the darning needle. Need that anymore. Now we just need the palm, our tag, our button, our crochet hook, scissors. Actually, we do still need the darning. No, we don't need the darning needle because we're going to use hardware. So first we're going to flip it on the wrong side so that we can adjust the stitches where we added or changed the yarn. So we have a few stripes. And to put those together, what we're going to do is we're going to grab both ends and we're just going to tug them slightly until the stitch falls into place. And then we're going to tie 2 or 3 knots. 2, 3. This one, we're going to tug it slightly until the stitch falls into place. Then we're going to tie 1, 2, 3. And this next one, 1, 2, 3. This next one, pull it slightly, and 1, 2, 3. This one, pull it slightly, 1, 2, 3. And then this one, slightly, 1, 2, 3. This is the last one here. 1, 2, 3. So now we're just going to cut till it's about a couple of inches or an inch and a half. This part is going to be on the inside of the beanie since it's a double walled beanie. It doesn't matter that there is stitches left there because it's going to be inside. No one's going to see it. Now we're flipping it on the right side. And so we're going to stretch it into place. After we unroll it. So we're going to stretch this way. Then we're going to stretch this way. Get all the stitches into place. Then we're going to cinch each end. Just evenly distribute the stitches until it's gathered like that. Gathered like this. Then on this side, we're going to do the same thing. Pull the drawstring, adjust the stitches so that they're fairly evenly distributed and it's gathered like that. So since the stripes are going to be on the outside, the cream is going to be on the inside, we're going to grab the top. So I'm going to stick my hand in the hole, and this is the part that's going to be on the inside. I'm going to grab this end along with the string and pull it through. Well, not through, but I'm going to pull it so that it meets the other end. So I have this strand on the outside, and then I have this strand on the inside, and I'm going to line those up, line up the edges, grip the edges, and flatten everything else out. All right, now I'm going to grab the string from the inside and pull it closed. Making sure that nothing is bunched up. The gathers are evenly distributed. Now that that's tight, We're going to do the outside. Making sure nothing is bunched, evenly distributed. And cut off most of the excess here. And I'm going to pull it again. I'm actually switching to a smaller darning needle just to make sure that it will fit through the hole on my button. So I'm going to thread each end through each hole on the button. This button is what is going to keep my pom-pom in place and help the stitches be secure as well. So each side is threaded through. Now I'm going to tie a knot. Then I'm going to tie a bow and a double bow. And once again, take off the excess. So now I'm going to take my crochet hook, stick it into the hole here so that I can grab the elastic from the pom-pom. So I'm going through the hole here. It's kind of tight because we cinched the hole pretty good. And I'm coming out through the other side. Grabbing the elastic on the pom-pom. Have to feel around for it. There it is. Now making sure that I grab the elastic with the crochet hook and pull it through. Once I pull it through, I'm going to wrap it around this button so that it stays in place. Taking my loop out as well. So this is the inside, and this is the right side. I'm going to just adjust it and shake it into place. Look how cute. Now we can add our tag. After we flip it. The hardware snaps, but I have this tool where I can make sure that it's more secure. And here's our beanie. Thank you, Pamela, for sponsoring today's item. How cool is that? Let's add the tag. Let me grab the tag. found the tag. Handcrafted. This item was handcrafted with love. So I'm going to put a hole in the tag so that I can attach it to the beanie. Just going to make it go through the back and back through. Oh wait, I put it on the wrong side. Now we are tagged. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you'll be able to join us tomorrow. And once again, if you're interested in sponsoring a beanie, a neck warmer, or a cinched headband, just follow the link listed in the post. All right. Thank you.